Okay guys, in this episode, Todd Vanlangen is going to talk a little bit about his background, who he is, and what he does.
Ended up joining the Army, which has always been something I wanted to do, which is probably a good thing, because I stayed out of trouble by doing that. It kind of helped reform me a little bit, and I found a home in the Special Forces, and then found another home again in our hostage rescue unit, Bravo Company, 2nd Battalion, 3rd Group, which has become kind of an infamous unit over the last few years, especially with the bad guys. But yeah, so that's pretty much landed me here where I'm at today. Went from the 82nd immediately to Special Forces selection, and ended up walking down the street to 3rd Group after that was over. It is what it is. It's a huge gut check. You know you're going to walk a bunch. You're going to do a bunch of hard, stressful stuff, and what a lot of people don't know is there's a lot more mental part to it, and the things that they're looking for, and they're assessing you, which is what the part of assessment and selection is they're assessing you to see if you fit a certain profile of a person, and that's about all I can get into on that. But it's a lot more than people think it is. It's not just rucksack marching and all that other nonsense, but is what kind of person you are on the inside. When I went through RIP, honestly, I had just got out of basic training, so it was just like being in basic training. You get yelled at, do a bunch of push-ups and nonsense and PT, so I didn't really even notice there was a difference, because I went from that, basic to airborne school to RIP. It wasn't really a whole lot. I just thought that's the way the world was. I was conditioned at that point. But selection was a kick in the nuts for sure. I'm glad that I went when I did. If I'd have waited 2 or 3 more years, I wouldn't have been able to make it probably, because it was pretty tough. The one thing I've always liked about Special Forces, as opposed to everywhere else in the military, is it's a grown-up. I hate to say that, because I'm not trying to make it sound cool, but it's more of a grown-up type place. There's no nonsense. There might be a little bit of nonsense being the new guy when you get there or whatever, but you get there, they expect you to operate at a higher level right off the bat, so you have to be mature. At least you have to pretend like you're mature, which I think is what most of us do. And you're just expected to perform at a higher level, so it's almost like you automatically do that, or you leave, and therefore you don't have to have all that new guy nonsense and all the other stressful shit, because there's enough stressful stuff going on that it doesn't, they don't have to induce that, self-induce it, So it was, you get there and you start learning. You learn more in a month at your unit than you'll ever even learn in the Q course, training to be an SF guy. My first deployment with Special Forces actually was to Africa. I don't remember, geez, I want to say it was 6 months, 5 months, I don't know, but we went all over. Man, it was the neatest thing in the world too. It wasn't war related, which was pretty cool. We trained guys, which is what Special Forces does in a peacetime situation. Went to all of South Africa, Namibia, Malawi, all the cool parts of Africa, man. And it was such a neat experience, and all the getting to do all the safari stuff people pay millions of dollars to do. We were doing it and getting paid for it actually, which was kind of cool. And just partying like rock stars over there. And man, that was so much fun. And then all of us new guys were, there. We had to mature pretty quick as far as combat goes, because we went from nothing to running and gunning as a way of life for the next the hell, they're still doing it. So my most favoritist thing of all of in Special Forces was being a part of B-23 of the hostage rescue unit. That for me was something that was a passion of mine. CQB, sniper stuff has always been, for some reason, I just knew that was something that I wanted to do and I was going to be good at. And it turned out I actually ended up being pretty good at it. I enjoyed it. But kicking indoors, especially with the war going on, we were kicking indoors 2-3 missions a night, fast roping on a helicopter, just doing all the cool guy stuff that every little boy's ever wanted to do. There's an adage out there that you have to be divorced twice to be a good SF guy. And I don't really know anybody that's not. All of us have at least 2 behind us. So that's something you got to prepare for, because, guys like us, we tend to put mission first, above family and all. And it's just because that's the level of dedication it requires.